Hey, what is going on YouTube? It's Adam here with Retro Repairs, and time for another repair video. So what we've got here is a WonderSwan. For those of you who've never seen a WonderSwan before, and I imagine that's a lot of you, WonderSwan was a handheld console made in the late 90s. Never released in North America. I believe it was exclusive to Japan. There may have been other areas that had it, but it was definitely a predominantly Japanese handheld system. And it plays games that look like this. They're, kind of, I'm going to say, similar size and format to the Game Boy Advance. This one made in '98, so it's not the oldest thing in the world. Has a monochrome display. I believe there were a couple revisions of this, such as the WonderSwan Color and I think a Crystal. I'm not sure what the Crystal did. The Color evidently had color, kind of like the Game Boy and Game Boy Color. I'm guessing back in '98, the competitors for this would have been the Game Boy Color and the Game Boy Advance, most likely. I think that was out then. So yeah, definitely a little bit of an obscure system. I bought this on eBay. I think it cost me $5 because it didn't work. My intention here to take a look and see what's going on with it. So I'll walk you through what I've done here to do some basic testing. So the back of it, the battery sits in this little add-on thing instead of sitting inside the console. So right away, I don't really love that. Reason being, so many people lose the battery doors of their Game Boys. So when you can't lose a battery door, why not lose the entire battery compartment? Without that, you really can't use this. So anyways, plug this in here. I've tested this battery. The battery is fine. So connect it, power on, and we got absolutely nothing. There is a contrast wheel, so I'm going to try have it in the middle somewhere, but I would expect to see some sign of life. Unfortunately, there is no LED on this like there would be on the Game Boy, so I don't know that there's power coming through to the board. I don't know if maybe there's an issue in here. That's actually the first thing I'm going to test. So let's jump into this. I'm going to grab my multimeter, and we'll start from the power source, work our way out. All right. Multimeter, one contact on this side, one contact on this side. Oh, we're not getting anything, so we could have an issue here. Let's make sure I got a good connection. Got no power. Interesting. Put that down. Oh, there we go. 1.803. I was probably just missing it. 1.803 volts, good. Let's just test the battery itself, see if there's any voltage loss somewhere. 1.803 exactly. So this appears to be fine. We'll maybe shine up these contacts a little bit and make sure that those are getting a good, reliable connection. So to do that, I'm going to do it the same way I would clean up a game cartridge, and that's just with a pencil eraser. So give me a second while I find that. It's been a while since I've been working on anything here, so I have to find all my stuff. Okay, so just going to use my eraser here, clean these pads a little bit. I don't think they're really that dirty, so I doubt that's the issue, but we're going to do it either way. I'm going to wipe that off with some isopropyl alcohol. Come on, there we go. And same thing here, just going to clean the terminals on the inside. Let's see. Nope. So I'm also going to give the cartridge a little bit of a clean. And unfortunately, this is the only WonderSwan game that I have, so I don't really have anything else to test it with. So you're going to get a lot of alcohol on there. Throw it in the system. Just try and give her one of those. The idea here is it will hopefully loosen up any gunk that might be inside the system on the cartridge connector. And let's see what we got. Still nothing. All right, so we're gonna have to bust this open, see what it's looking like in here. So first thing, get rid of the battery, put that off to the side. We know that this works, so I'm not too worried about this. So we're gonna have to open up the system now. So to do that, looking at the screws, it looks like it is some sort of 6-point star security screw. So hopefully a Torx bit will fit in there. Let's see what we've got here. Let's try one of these. Too big. So this is a T8. That actually feels perfect. Okay. And so I did a little bit of, very small amount of research on this. I have never owned or touched one of these, so I don't really know a whole lot what to expect. And oddly enough, there's really not many YouTube videos about repairing an original WonderSwan. There's lots of stuff on the WonderSwan Color, but not much on the original one. So hopefully we'll be able to get this guy up and running, and we can, you know, use this as a resource for someone else who might be looking to fix their own WonderSwan. So I'm going to be taking this a little slower, as I've never opened one before and I'm not exactly sure what I should be expecting. So I'm going to be careful as to not break anything. But yeah, let's see how this goes. So 6 screws are out. It does, oh, there we go. So there is some resistance, so I definitely do need to be careful. Push here to release battery. Well, battery's already out. There we go. Okay, so nothing attached to this. That is good. First, so what do we see here? There's a ribbon connector. That could definitely be a culprit if there's nothing showing up on the screen. But we were getting no audio either, and I assumed that there would be audio, but I also don't see a audio slide. That's odd. So there's no way to control the sound? Oh, sound. I guess that way. Okay. This power switch is pretty dirty, so we may need to clean that out. It's possible that this is so full of gunk that it's just simply not turning power on to the system. Otherwise, just a little bit dirty, but nothing really stands out here. So, yeah, I think what a good starting point here might be is we'll connect the battery to these terminals if I can, just like that. And I want to see that I've got power coming onto the board and then power going into the switch. So right now, power is on. Let's turn that off. And let's get my multimeter here. Why are you picking up voltage? Might need to replace those batteries. Okay. So ground to power. Getting nothing. That's interesting. So nothing. So definitely seems to be, so far it appears that there's an issue getting contact to this battery connector. Strange. Oh, battery was starting to come out. Let's try that again. Okay, 1.803. Battery was coming a little bit loose, so I think I'm going to tape that just so that we don't have to worry about that. Okay, so that should hold it in place, hopefully. We're getting more voltage, but not the right voltage. Now I'm getting nothing. So, yeah, it definitely looks like there is an issue here with the connection. We've got to find a way to fix that. Weird. Now I'm only getting half a volt. Why are you being like this? .8. Okay. So there very well might be an issue in this guy right here. 1.8. .8, 1.799, 1.8. Two 2.4, 2.5. Huh. Inconsistent voltage. So, all right. We're going to have to clean this up. But I'm curious. I want to see if there's a way to bypass this and confirm that this actually works. So I'm going to see what I've got and see if there's some way I can get a battery directly wired to these contacts and rule out anything else first. All right, so here's what I'm going to do here. What I've done is I've rigged up my multimeter with a couple of alligator clips. And how this is going to work is we're going to flip this over. Going to check the polarity here. So the positive side goes in like this. So this is positive. So the red clip is going to snap into here. White clip is going to go into here. Now let's turn it over. Let's give me something to kind of rest it on. Power is off. Okay. Now, with the other clips, so the other red and the other white, which were connected to my alligator clips, we're just going to touch the battery terminals here and see if we get any power. I wonder if I can hold on to this. Kind of? Okay, good. Oh, got to turn it on. Let's turn it on first. And we got some sound. Oh, the contrast is kind of funky. Let's try that again, but play with that wheel. I see nothing. Other way. There we go. That looks better. Doesn't look good on camera, but okay, so it looks like it works. The game isn't working, but the system is working, which is definitely a good thing. So it's interesting. It's like a picture of a person down here. I'm not sure what that means. There's, I don't know, a lock, a handbag. Can't quite tell what that is. Okay, but this works. So, unfortunately, I don't have another game, so I'm going to focus on getting it so that I can boot it up every time. And then we will see if I can turn the attention towards the cartridge here and make sure that works. It could be a bad cartridge, could be a bad chip on it, could be something we could fix, I'm not sure. But let's resolve this power issue first. My lovely shop assistant Kona here is hoping to play. The place is a bit of a mess right now as I've been doing some renos, but we'll have to play with her in a little bit. Might have to take a break, a Kona break. So anyways, let's move on to trying to figure out this power issue. So we've determined that the console works. It will boot up, but we're not playing a game. My primary goal here is to get it so that it boots every time. So I suspect this contact right here is going to need to be cleaned. Take a look at inside that. It's kind of looking all gross. Probably got some battery acid damage years ago that was never really cleaned out. So let's see if we can open this and make that a bit more reliable. Now, the trick is, how do you open it? Oh, just like that. That was easy. Interestingly, so there's a little resistor in here, which is kind of neat. Wasn't really expecting anything to be in there other than just a jumper of some type. So I don't want to break these, but I don't really know if there's a great way to get them out. Let's see if I can pry it a little bit from underneath here. There we go. And this one has no resistor, which, I mean, to be expected, it is the negative side, so it's really just going to ground. So let's see if we can't pop this thing out, give it a clean. It just looks a little bit gross, and hopefully that's even just enough to fix this. Okay, so it's out. Doesn't look pretty, but it just kind of looks grimy. It definitely looks like it can be cleaned relatively easily. I don't really think it needs to have a huge like long vinegar bath or anything. It just looks grimier more than anything. There's obviously some battery leakage in the past. So yeah, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a little white vinegar, pour it into a glass here, and let that sit for a bit. All right, so what I've got here, got a shot of vinegar. All I'm going to do, let that sit in there for a while, set it off to the side. I'm going to pop this guy out as well. Now, this one's going to be a little trickier as it has that resistor in it. So I don't want to break the solder joint. I just want to get this out so we can make sure that it is nice and clean as well. I apologize if that was off screen. There we go. There's part of it. Okay. So just out of curiosity, just want to do a test here, see what the resistance on that looks like. Zero ohms. .4 ohms. Close enough to continuity, so it, wonder if that's supposed to be that. Let's see. I'm gonna have to look up what these bands mean. To be honest, I'm not, To be honest, I'm not that well rehearsed on my resistance bands, so I'm going to take a look at that and we'll see what this is supposed to be. Okay, so I took a look at the old band calculators, and it suggests it's a 1 ohm resistor, but the odd thing, typically resistors will have 4 bands or more. and this one has 3. So I had to make a little bit of an educated guess there that it would, about the tolerance, it might be cut off here at the end. However, a good point I found was that this is more likely a fusible resistor, similar to what's in the Dreamcast on the controller board, which sometimes stops the controller boards from working, which would make sense because it is on the positive side of the battery terminals here. So the idea being is if you were to somehow plug in, like, I don't know, let's say a 3-volt battery instead of 1.5 amp volt AA, it may blow the resistor here instead of frying the board. So it makes sense. When I did a little bit of a continuity test, we are getting continuity across it, which is good. And I'm getting, when I do a resistance test, I get 0.5 ohms. And again, continuity just for fun. 0.7. It seems to fluctuate a tiny bit, but I believe this is fine. So I am going to also give it a little bit of a vinegar bath just so that we can clean that up a bit. I wanted to make sure that it's perfectly clean. It's getting a perfect continuity or perfect contact every time. So I'm going to do that just to be on the safe side. So now, let's take these guys out. Okay, so they are covered in vinegar. What I do want to do, dump them in some alcohol here. Dry off some of that vinegar. And we're going to brush anything off at the edge of these pads or these terminals that we can with the fiberglass pen. Just kind of really give this a nice clean out. Same thing on the other side. So this is the side that actually connects with the rest of the console. So I want to make sure that's nice and clean. Same thing here. So this one's actually pretty good. I don't think there's any issue here. And again, same thing here. It looks pretty good. So I'm going to run these under some water. I just want to make sure there's no vinegar on them still. And then we can get to reinstalling. All right, so I've run these guys under the sink, just plain old tap water. Want to make sure that all the vinegar is off. I can wipe down the insides there a little bit. Try and dry these out as best as we can here. Once dry, we will reinstall them back in, and we'll give this thing another battery test or another power test. There we go. Yep. So let's get this back together. Okay, so the positive side over here is the side with the resistor, so that goes just like so. Or I should call it the fuse, which it most likely is. Pop that in there. That looks like we're good. Negative side here. Hopefully that's going to be a lot better. Okay, that feels good. I don't know, does it matter which one goes where? These are opposites, so whatever fits, fits. That looks like it goes there. This guy goes right here. Cool. Battery in. Now, let's grab my multimeter. Do a couple tests. So we should get pretty reliable 1.8-ish volts, 1.792, rotate it a bit, 1.792, rotate it a bit, 1.792, 1.792. I like that. That's a lot more promising. Okay. Okay, we're good there. Let's try, let's keep hitting the cord here. Got my camera plugged in because the battery's running low, so I keep hitting that from time to time. Let's try that same thing, but right here. And if we're lucky, we get lots of power. And we do not. So I'm going to try it with the probes instead. Just get something that's a little easier to get in. Still 2.5 volts. What happens if I turn the power on? Where's that on? That's off. Nothing. Huh. That's annoying. So I wonder, this looks a little black. I wonder if we can scuff this up a bit. Or is there just a break here? Let's check some continuity. So that's right where it would connect. And it's right where I'm not getting any power. Okay. No. Let's check out this side. So this side looks good. This side, not so much. So I'm going to grab something with a little more abrasiveness to it. See if we can get a little better contact here. And if necessary, we can always desolder this contact and try and clean it up as best we can. So right there, I'm very clearly contacting it. It's not getting anything. Move it a touch, we're good. Well, it'd be a good time to try the old Deoxit D5. One of my viewers sent me this quite a while ago, but had suggested that I should try using this for cases like this, cleaning boards, that sort of thing, instead of isopropyl alcohol. It's better product, although it is more expensive, but it seems like exactly what this would be made for. So let's take this board out. Set this off to the side here. Okay, so let's try this again. Clean up around it here just to make sure we're not getting any residue around there. Okay, battery in. Okay, that's positive. So let's slap the back on. That was not an electrical pun, in case you were wondering. Let's slap the back on and see what works here. All right, battery in. Game in. Forgot the power switch. Where did you go? Power switch right here. Okay, game out, battery out. A little residue still coming out of that terminal. Okay. All right. So, moment of truth. Come on, please work. And it does. Nice. Okay. Akira Kubo. Be real nice if this game worked. But does not look like it. However, sure seems like we have fixed this power issue. Seems reasonably reliable. So I would consider that part of the repair a win. Cool. All right, so the final part here, just screw it back together, and then we're done for this portion of it. No, the console is not working yet fully, just because I haven't been able to get this game booted up. I don't know if that's the game or the system, but I'm going to do another video, I think, where we see if we can open up this game, see if it's something that can be fixed. Like I said, I've never used a WonderSwan or WonderSwan games or anything before, so I don't know what is and isn't possible, whether these games can be opened without breaking them. So we could flip it over and see if there's a screw on it. Should be easy. There's 2 screws, and I can even get a screwdriver in there. Not quite. What do we have here? Just a small Torx. Okay. Yeah, so we can open that, no problem. I think that's going to be another video. We'll open it up. Might need to reflow a few things. I've done a couple game cartridge repairs before on this channel, and a lot of the time it's the same sort of thing, bad traces or chips that need to be reflowed. So fingers crossed that it's the same issue here. But yeah, once we get this screwed back up, this would be a no power issue resolved on the WonderSwan. Come on here. All right, so all the screws in. Moment of truth. Oops. pop that guy off. Hopefully that's not going to be a recurring issue here. Make sure that's in all the way. There we go. Probably just didn't poke it in hard enough. And let's go. Nice. All right, so no power. All right, we have a game. I guess I don't need to do a repair video. I wonder if there's an issue with the screws needing to be in all the way. Or just something wasn't quite tight enough. Huh. Alright, that's bonus. Little bonus repair video at the end of this one. Didn't really do anything to it. But the game works, so let's check this out. Okay, so sound. Only 3 levels, which is kind of annoying. Obviously, very Japanese game. I don't understand Japanese, so I assume this is like play, options, Wonder Wave. I don't have a Wonder Wave, though. Okay, let's go back. I did just lose power there, so... I don't like how this sits in. Like, that is not a very good system. You do need to be careful not to... And your fingers naturally want to knock that, but you want to be careful not to knock that out. Well, let's play this for a second here. Let's see how the contrast can look. Yeah, telling me things. Don't know what you're saying. Let's go. Pick my name, probably. Let's go with this. If I were end... Oh, there's some... how about here? Is that good? No? Yeah, there we go. Let's turn that sound off. So, all things considered, I must say, for a console that came out in 1998, unsurprising this didn't come to North America. I really can't see this tech at that age being acceptable. This is basically original Game Boy with 3 sound levels. Probably the games are a little more advanced, I'd imagine, just due to being released 10 years later. This is... Okay, there we go. So, I think this was what, Digimon? Yeah, Digimon Link System, so some sort of game. I don't even know how to play this. Whatever, doesn't matter. But yeah, interesting system. Came out in late 90s, and, you know, all the downsides of the original Nintendo with minimal upsides. I mean, you can play like this. The buttons are not very nice. They're pretty rattly. So, yeah. Be interested to see what a color or a crystal looks like, so maybe I'll keep an eye out for one of those, but let's not get too much into that. The end of the day, we've resolved the no power issue with simply a unreliable connection in here to the battery. So being able to clean up those connections seems to have simply done the trick here. So that's going to be it for this video. I hope that you found it entertaining and useful. Maybe someone out there has a WonderSwan with no power, so hopefully you'll be able to do something with this. As always, I want to thank you a lot for watching, and we'll see you next video.